friends, it's Miss Stevenson, and I am here again to tell you a little bit about Hispanic Heritage Month. Remember, we're celebrating, and we have a guest reader this week, Coach Rodriguez, and she's been reading Separate is Never Equal. And last week, she read half of the story, and we talked about how unfair the schools were to Sylvia Mendez and her family. And I asked you to make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? I asked you to tell me, what did you think was going to happen at the end of the story? Her father was fighting for their rights, and then other families began to help him. So today, we're going to find out if your prediction was right. Coach Rodriguez is coming now to finish reading Separate is Never Equal.
Hey Garrett Gators, it's Coach Rodriguez again. So today we're going to finish the book, Separate is Never Equal. So we're going to get to find out if the Mendez family, if the students are going to get to go back, going to get to go to the Westminster School, and also to find out if Mr. Mendez is going to win that lawsuit that he hired the lawyer for. So let's see what happens, okay? All right, here we go. The trial was held at the courthouse in Los Angeles. Sylvia and her family dressed in their best clothes and sat in the courtroom to listen. The hearing lasted 5 days. Each day, Mr. Marcus called to the stand parents from the different districts in Orange County and the superintendents from each district too. On the first day, Mr. Kent, the superintendent of the Garden Grove district, was questioned. He said that he sent children to the Mexican school to help them improve their English. That is a lie, thought Sylvia. Her English was as good as the English of any of the children at the Westminster School. Do you give the children any tests? Asked Mr. Marcus. Mr. Clint claimed he did. We do so by talking to them. That is another lie. Sylvia wanted to yell. No one had questioned her. They rejected her from the Westminster School without asking her a thing. Wow, that's so sad, guys. So here we see, here's the family in the courtroom, and here is Mr. Kent being questioned by the lawyer, okay? So sad that he's lying, and when you go to court, guys, just so you know, you're under oath. You have to tell the truth, which obviously Mr. Kent was not doing. For what other reasons do you send children to the Mexican school? Asked Mr. Marcus. Sylvia and her family braced themselves to hear what Mr. Kent would say next. For their social behavior. They need to learn cleanliness of mind, manner, and dress. They are not learning that at home. They have problems with lice, impetigo, and tuberculosis. They have generally dirty hands, face, neck, and ears. The Mendez family and others in the room stared at Mr. Kent in disbelief. What he was saying was not true. It was degrading. How many of the 292 children at the Mexican school are inferior to whites in personal hygiene? Asked Mr. Marcus. At least 75%. And in their scholastic ability? 75%. In what other respects are they inferior? In their economic outlook, in their clothing, and in their ability to take part in the activities of the school. Do you believe that white students are superior to Mexicans in the respects that they have mentioned? Yes. And is that one of the reasons they are being segregated? Yes. Time and again, Mr. Mendez had asked, why can't my children attend the Westminster School? Now he has his answer. So here's the parents and here's the kids. And how sad that Mr. Mendez had asked the superintendents many, many times, why can't my kids attend school? And here he's given the courtroom all kinds of reasons why they can't come to school. Just crazy. All right. On the second day, Mr. Marcus called to the stand a 14-year-old student from the Mexican school in El Modena. Her name was Carol Torres. She spoke perfect English. It was clear that she had not been sent to the Mexican school because she had problems speaking the language, as the defense lawyers claimed. Mr. and Mrs. Mendez were questioned on the third and fourth day, and so was Mr. Harris, the superintendent of the Westminster School. Sylvia was not called to the stand, but she was ready to testify if they asked her to. She tried looking at her best every morning, and she practiced what she would answer. On the fifth and final day of the hearing, Mr. Marcus called to the stand two education specialists to explain why it was bad to segregate children into different schools. Segregation tends to give an aura of inferiority. In order to have the people of the United States understand one another, it is necessary for them to live together. And the public school is the one mechanism where all the children of all the people go, said one of them. The judge nodded his head. He seemed to agree with this. So here we see all the kids that are testifying. And here we see Sylvia ready to testify, but she's looking her best. She looks beautiful, right? So let's see what's going to happen. Judge Paul McCormick took almost a year to give his decision, but when he did, he ruled in favor of the Mendes family. In his ruling, he said that public education must be open to all children, be unified school association regardless of lineage. This meant that everyone must be allowed to attend school, no matter what his or her race or background. The Mendes victory made newspaper headlines. Sylvia's family was ecstatic, but they did not have much time to celebrate because the school board appealed the case. That is, it asked for another trial. Sylvia and her family had to go to the state court in San Francisco to argue the case. Wow, look, it's so exciting. They get, the judge rules in their favor, and then the school board says, nope, we're going to take it further. So now they're going to have to go to the state court in San Francisco to see if their case is going to stand.
That's not right.
In the new trial, the Mendes family received support from the League of United Latin American Citizens, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the Japanese American Citizens League, the American Jewish Congress, and other organizations. These groups sent letters with information relevant to the case and asked the judge to rule in favor of the Mendes family. Sylvia was amazed that people of different backgrounds and from different parts of the country who had never met her family were getting involved in the case and trying to help them. But her mother said, "Cuando la causa es justa, los demás te siguen." When you fight for justice, others will follow. On April 15, 1947, the judges in the Court of Appeals in San Francisco ruled in favor of the Mendes family again. That June, Governor Earl Warren signed the law that said that all children in California were allowed to go to the school together, regardless of race, ethnicity, or language. Wow, guys, what a victory. They fought, they got all kinds of different organizations to support them, to write letters. And finally, the judge of the Supreme Court has said, all kids must go to school together, regardless of their color or ethnicity. What a great victory for the Mendes family. And what great thing they're showing us is to fight for what's right and what you believe in. So just remember that whenever you guys have something that goes on, if you believe that something is right, you fight for it. So remember, said Sylvia's mother, we fought to make sure you could attend a good school and have equal opportunities. Sylvia thought long and hard about what her mother said. The next day, she returned to the Westminster School. This time, she did not listen to any whispers. She ignored the children who pointed at her and called her names. Instead, she held her head high. Her parents had fought not only for her and for her brothers, but for all their classmates. Looking around, she saw that other children were smiling at her. By the end of the day, she had made a friend. And by the end of the school year, she had made many friends of different backgrounds. She knew that her family had fought for that. So here is a picture of her with all her new friends. Look, she's even got white friends. So it doesn't matter what color we are. We're all equal, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. So here is a picture. Let's see. I think this is Sylvia right here. So it says to the left, Sylvia was a young girl in 1947. To the right, Sylvia in 2011. So you can see here's Sylvia when she was a young girl, and that's her now. Okay, this was in 2011, so actually 9 years ago. And then it says, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In the bottom are Sylvia's parents in 1947, and in the middle right are the Westminster School and the Hoover Elementary. So here's her mom and dad. Okay, that's who they really are. And there's the school. There's the Westminster School that she got to finally attend. And this is the Hoover School, the one that she was going to initially. So All right, Gators, I'm so excited that we got to read this wonderful book that teaches us about equality and that we are all the same, regardless of what color we are, what language we speak, or what we look like. We are all the same and we are all equal. So don't forget that as we grow up, that we are all the same, okay? All right, Gators, take care and have a good day. Bye.